Hey gang, this is a quick little help me video. This is a frequent occurrence on my channel. I get emails about this. People are driving along and they lose power. Engine's running fine, belt's turning the transmission, everything's going great. But tractor no move, or it's very, very slow and sluggish, or it just falls on its face and stops moving at all. So we have differential back here. Nope, we can't see it that way. Let's go this way. We have differential back here, a differential gear right there, okay? And there's a bunch of pinion gears in there, and some of the pinion gears operate on a gear set onto the axle. Some of the pinion gears operate the hub, and this is the hub. This is where you tighten down your bolts to get better traction, is here and here, okay? So what happens? Why do these things stop moving under their own power? One of two possibilities. Let me don my gloves so that I don't get super greasy here. But one thing, and usually the most common thing that happens, is this collar right here, which is that same collar, just goes right there. That holds the hub with the gear on it engaged to the differential. If this comes loose and slides out even just a 1/4 inch, your hub is going to move out a 1/4 inch and you're no longer engaged with the transmission. It's like putting it in freewheel mode. Jack the back of the tractor up, get that hub pushed back in and engaged with those pinion gears in the differential. Put that collar back on. Make sure it is seated as far as it'll go, and tighten your set screw. So what happens if your set screw looks all flattened out just like that? Replace it, because you're going to have that problem again. It's going to slip back out. So local hardware store, just tell them you need a set screw. You can either get a Allen type, which is what I've got on here, an Allen head type, or you can get these old-fashioned square head types. Either one will work. What's important is that it's got a good cutting edge, so that when you tighten it down, it grabs a hold of that axle shaft, and it grabs a hold of it tight, and it won't let that collar pull back off. So that's number one. That's the most common issue. And 9 times out of 10, when I get an email and I suggest that they check that, that's exactly what has happened, and then I never hear from them again, which is a good thing. I don't want to hear from somebody if I've helped them with their problem. I'm not saying I don't want to hear from them as, you know, just shooting me a quick hello, but I just mean about having the same problem. So what is problem number 2? Well, here's a hub that has problem number 2, and that problem is that this gear and this hub have separated. There are roll pins in there, and it's kind of tricky to get those roll pins out. And there's also a bushing here, and this bushing, there's 2 bushings, and your nylon spacers are down inside there that coincide with each of your traction bolts that you would tighten down to increase traction. In fact, if you look down in that hole there, you can see the nylon that's down in there. This pushes on the nylon. It's a good idea, if you're into this and you're doing this, you want to check and make sure you've got the nylon, and you don't have to have a physical eye on it. Take the bolt out and just go in and tap it with a screwdriver. If it sounds metallic, your nylon's missing. If it just goes thud thud thud, your nylon's there. But this is sheared roll pins. This is worst case scenario here. This is what you do not want to happen. is to shear your roll pins, because then it's a big pain to get those roll pins extracted, the broken roll pins extracted and new ones put on. But those are the two things that can happen if your tractor stops driving on you, but everything else seems fine. Now I will show you one more thing that is not a common occurrence, but that can cause you issues. Doesn't happen often, like I said. I can't do it on this one. Well, yeah, I can do it on this one. There are set screws holding this high-low unit on. Well, there's also set screws and a keyway holding just your regular 6-inch pulley on. In the back, behind the pulley, you will see the two set screws. They'll be square set screws, just like those. Okay? Again, same size. You can replace them with Allen head if you want to. Make sure those set screws are in good shape, and also make sure that your little piece of key stock is in there, and that this pulley isn't just spinning while, or staying still while the tractor is in gear. If this is staying still while the tractor's in gear, it can either be this pulley, or it can be a really screwed up bevel gearbox. What would happen with the bevel gearbox would be that it would just lose my seat will stay up. But that's a good tight bevel gearbox there. The bevel gearbox will, this input shaft will spin, but your cross shaft will not spin. That's your indication that you have bevel gearbox where the two gears have separated from one another. So that pretty well covers the issue that one individual sent me an email on yesterday, and today is Saturday the 30th, but there's what to look for. There's a actual visual that I should have done many moons ago. Ugly Alice, thank you very much for contributing your wonderful ugliness for this show and tell and show and how to. Do not, a lot of people ask me also, and I'm just going to cover this right now, because when I get asked this, it goes against the grain. It's like rubbing a cat's hair backwards. I don't like them. I don't like these questions. How can I make my tractor a positive traction, a posi-track? First question, why? Second question, or not question, but statement, you're going to break the transmission. If it's not done correctly, which is splitting the transmission transfer case in half and doing some fiddly diddlies inside with the gears, you're gonna break something. Most notably, your axle tube. And axle tube fractures suck. So to get as close to a limited slip, which is what you want and what this is designed for, to get a limited slip differential, not a positive traction, limited slip, you tighten these until you get the desired transfer of traction between your right tire and your left tire, so that you're not spinning your wheels all the time. Do not try to make a locking differential out of this thing unless you know somebody in the tractor pulling industry who knows these transmissions, has had them apart, and knows exactly what to do. There is no other way to do it other than correctly, and I will never recommend to anybody to flip-flop the gears in the differential so that it's a positive traction. because you will break something. I guarantee it. And it'll be a very expensive fix. So that's it. A little bit of a gripe and a rant there at the end, because I get asked that a lot too. Just your friendly neighborhood Zippo. I promise you guys, I will see you when I see you. Lots to do today. Catch you later. I'm out.